If you're looking for a paddle that absolutely crushes the ball but still feels quick in the hand, the Gatorstrike Armor Gen 5X might be on your paddle list to take a look at. Today I'm breaking down who this paddle is for, its strengths and weaknesses, and whether it deserves a spot in your bag. But first, let's go over the paddle specs and build. Let's start with the basics and construction so you know what you're swinging. The Gen 5X is around 6.5 inches elongated shape for extra leverage on drives and serves. The width comes in at 7.5 inches, giving you a classic elongated profile rather than a wider control shape. The stock weight on my unit came in at 8.2 ounces, but swings a little lighter than that number because of the weight and its distribution. The grip on the length is 5 and roughly 4.25 inch circumference, with a noticeable taper and room for an undergrip for those people who like to choke up. The core. This core is a all-form trifecta core design with foam filling the paddle and poly material used in the throat and handle area to adjust balance and feel. The face is a raw carbon fiber face with a 3D hex style textured surface designed to add grip on the ball and improve spin and that bold edge guard aesthetic that really stands out. Overall, it's a built as a modern, power-oriented all-foam paddle with premium materials and a very aggressive profile. Let's go into the on-court performance. The power is the headline with the Gatorstrike Armor Gen 5X. Serves and drives come off the face hot, and test numbers have shown average speeds in the mid 50 miles per hour range, which is in the high category for most power-driven pickleball paddles. Players, like myself, consistently describe this paddle as insanely powerful or hits hard, and many compare it favorably to top-end power paddles they've used. Because of its elongated shape and foam core, you get easy depth even when you're not swinging out of your shoes. If you enjoy stepping in and driving through your opponent, this paddle gives you a little extra free speed without swinging incredibly hard. Control and feel. The feel of this paddle is on the firmer side. It's not painfully harsh, but it's not super plush. Dwell time control feels some control and feel. The feel is on the firmer side, but it's not painfully harsh, but it's not that super plush dwell time control feel that some softer foam paddles have. At the kitchen, you can play solid dinks and blocks, but it takes a little bit of time to adjust because the ball tends to jump off the face if your hands aren't disciplined enough to be soft. Touch is decent, but not as standout for this paddle. The standout for this paddle is definitely its power. It does many things well, but consistency can drop off if you're not hitting the ball on the center of the paddle. But that's generally the case for any paddle you're using. On clean contact, it feels great. Off center, you'll notice some wobble and a bit of unpredictability. The sweet spot is not huge. So control is good for aggressive players, but not ideal if you're a pure touch or reset specialist. Let's jump into the spin. Spin is an interesting category with the Armor Gen 5X. The raw carbon fiber textured 3D hex grip surface certainly give you the ability to shape the ball and generate solid spin. However, I've been hearing some testers mention that it doesn't quite reach the very top tier of spin paddles, and it does spin the ball well, but not elite. But I don't run RPM numbers, but I would argue that it doesn't spin the ball in the elite category. I would say, based on my gameplay, this paddle generates a good amount of spin. And yeah, sure, it's not top tier, but it's definitely on the high end. The big positive is that this newer hex style grit is designed to last longer than standard spray on textures, which should help the paddle maintain its spin potential over time. Maneuverability and customization, one of my favorite parts with tinkering with all my paddles. Despite the listed weight at the 8.2 ounces, the Gen 5 still feels very quick in the hand. The weight distribution and the poly in the throat handle keep it maneuverable at the net for hands battles and fast exchanges. Adding an overgrip, which I do to all my paddles, or a bit of lead tape can smooth out the balance and increase the stability if you're finding that the sweet spot is slightly too small. While some players are happy running this paddle stock and others like adding a little bit of weight to expand the sweet spot, it just comes down to user preference. If you enjoy tinkering, this paddle responds extremely well to customization and can be tuned more towards stability without losing its identity as a power paddle. To wrap it up, The Gatorstrike Armor Gen5X is a high-octane, all-foam, raw carbon fiber paddle that delivers some of the biggest power in its class while still staying reasonably quick and customizable. It's not the most forgiving or plush option out there, but if you love attacking and you're willing to manage a smaller sweet spot, it can absolutely transform your offensive game. If you've hit the Gatorstrike Armor Gen5X or other Gatorstrike paddles, drop your experience in the comments so people can see different playstyles and different opinions. And if you want more in-depth paddle breakdowns like this, please like the video, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Thanks for joining.